So let me try to get to the core. I think the very first start of being self-gentle in relationships is becoming aware of how you can be self-gentle. How you can start to tune in with yourself, because basically that is it, and know what is going on within, to learn to understand what thoughts you're having, what emotions and feelings you're having, where you're coming from, and how you can soothe yourself. So how you can be kind and gentle to yourself even when you're doing things wrong, or you're failing, or whatever even thoughts you might have about yourself. And this process, I've described this in my courses here on Insight Timer. So I have a course in Dutch and also in English about self-gentleness, which is a pretty brief course. It's basically just 4 days and then 3 more days, which are 3 practices that you could do every day. And if you would do this for, let's say, 30 days, you're making a significant start in becoming self-gentle. And I will tell you what these practices are. So the best thing is to start every evening by letting go of your day just before you go to sleep. So you're already in bed, lights are off, you're lying really comfortable. And then to make the conscious decision that your day is now over, whatever happened, and that today is going to be a different day. So often when we go to bed with feeling bad or having a problem that we are chewing on in our brain, we then wake up and we immediately start continuing thinking these things, feeling bad. But what we forget is that this moment of this night of sleep, whether it's a short, broken night, but you get some sleep, you get some rest, we can use this as a reset. I know everyone has had this experience that you go to bed feeling really bad. And then when you wake up in a moment and everything is good, until you suddenly remember that yesterday you were really feeling bad because of something. And before you know it, you're sad again, or angry again, or frustrated again. So this is it. The night sleep, where you just, you zoom out, you give your body actual rest, you give your mind rest. You're not here. You're not consciously here. It's like a reset. And if you would be able to wake up and not pick up where you left off last night, but you just start a new day afresh, understanding that all possibilities are there again, and you don't have to drag your past with you into the next day, then you start to be self-gentle. And this starts in the evening. So you're lying in bed, everything is done. And then I understand it might have been a hard day. It might have been really hard to let go of the problems. It might even be hard to fall asleep because you've been chewing on all these things all night. So that's okay. What you do is start to relax yourself. And then you start to think of a few things that you've been grateful for this day. Or maybe things that you are grateful for in your life. And I know when you feel sad or angry or frustrated, it might be hard to think of things you're grateful for, but there's always something. It might be as simple as that person in the street that smiled to you today. It might be that you passed a bush of roses and, oh, you enjoyed that smell, or the cup of tea that you had just, 2 minutes in between everything, which was so tasty, or that good piece of chocolate that you put in your mouth, or it could be something really, it's just the fact that you opened the shower and hot water came out and it was really good on your body. There are always things to be grateful for. And sometimes when you're feeling bad, it takes some time to probe, to feel. But if you're in bed, laying comfortable, it can just be, oh, I'm so grateful for my pillow. It's really, I had such a bad day, but I'm laying here on my pillow and, oh, I love this pillow. Only that feeling, that's what you're working for. That's what you're looking for. So just think of 3 things or people or situations that you feel grateful for. And again, it can be really small. And you will feel a significant change. There will be some release of tension. And The release of tension. So last month I spoke about releasing resistance. The track must be published soon, that you can listen to it if you were not there. It's always about the release of the tension in your stomach, that pit in your stomach where you feel, when you don't feel so good, where you feel it. There is some relief. That's what you're looking for. By cultivating gratitude, we know from a lot of research that by cultivating gratitude, you really help yourself to feel better. And then you decide, when I wake up tomorrow, it's going to be a new day with new opportunities, new possibilities, and I'm going to be open for all the good that can come. And then you go to sleep in your own way. Maybe you use a sleeping meditation, maybe you sleep like that, maybe you read a book, whatever you do. You set that intention. And then the first thing in the morning when you wake up is that you greet yourself. You tell yourself, good morning, darling. How are you? I'm so happy that you are here. It might sound weird, right? That you would speak to yourself like that. You can do it in your head. You don't have to make it out loud. But if you're alone in your bed or your partner doesn't mind, you can even say it. Good morning, darling. How are you? I'm so happy that you are here. And then again, you repeat this. Today is a new day. Today is a day with all possibilities open again. And you know what? Today I'm going to be open for good things coming to me. Today I'm going to be open to look for things, right? So the very first day you try this, it might be just 1 minute in the morning before you pick up what you left yesterday evening. But then the next day you do it, it might be 2 minutes. And before you know it, you're 1 hour in the day before the old stuff comes back. And after about a month, about 30 days, you will notice that you are able to control your momentum in the day. You will be able to feel self-empowerment, that you actually can let go of things that are bothering you. And you start a day on a new way. This is self-gentleness. Why? Because you let yourself know that it is okay to feel okay. You actually show yourself that there are ways to let go of all those thoughts that are bothering you, that are hurting you, that are bringing you sadness or frustration or anger, and that you have control of this. You can do something with this. A third practice that I always recommend is to take a few moments in a day, just 1 minute, where you tune in with yourself to just feel what's going on within me. It could be just when you're in the restroom, close your eyes and just notice, or you're standing in line somewhere, or you're on a commute, or you're in a traffic jam, just to take that 1 minute to close your eyes and to tune in. What is it that I'm feeling in my body? Oh, my feet are hurt. Maybe I should sit. Maybe I should give my feet some rest. Oh, I feel a little bit tired. Maybe it's better that I cancel this dinner date tonight and then go to bed early. Oh, I cannot. You know what? I will go to the dinner date, but then tomorrow I will go to bed early. That you tune in and feel what it actually is, what your needs are. And I'm now speaking about physical tired, becoming physically tired, but it could be so many other things that are going on. The first step in becoming self-gentle is to start to understand what is going on within and what we are expecting from ourselves, despite whatever we are feeling, whatever is going on with ourselves. We are so trained by our parents, our teachers, our communities, our jobs, ourselves mainly, our own expectations to just carry on, to be tough, to be strong, to do everything and even more for ourselves, for others. And then we forget to tune in and we forget to feel what it is that we need. But if we teach ourselves to feel what is going on within us, then we are on our way to be more self-gentle. One of the things in the morning that, besides setting the intention of the new day, it's also really good to ask yourself what it is that I need right now. And the answer can be different every day. So one day you're a little bit tired and it's like, let's snooze more for a few minutes. Or maybe even close the alarm clock, turn around and sleep a little bit more if it's possible. Maybe it is, oof, I have a lot of energy. I just want to go for a jog. Ooh, I have a lot of energy. I will go to my work now and get the things done that I really need to be doing. And that will give me a good feeling. Maybe it is getting up slowly, making myself a nice coffee, sitting, taking the time to sip it. Maybe it's calling your best friend to have a nice chat. Whatever it is that you need, which can be different any moment, and just tune into that and acknowledge that it is there. And I know very often we're tired, we want to sleep longer, but then we have to wake up the kids, bring them to school, for instance. Yeah, that is hard. But then at least acknowledge that you have a need and promise yourself that you will honor this need in a later moment, that you will carve out some time to give this to yourself. Becoming aware of what is going on, honoring that right now or later on, that's a really, really great start. And really, you will notice when you start to do this, you will notice that after some time, it becomes easier. It becomes more natural. And it will be at a certain moment that you ask yourself, hey, once I responded so differently to these things, and now I'm really taking care of myself. So, yeah. And then we have the others, of course, that we have to relate to. And that is sometimes really, really difficult and also really, really exciting. So from my own experience, I will share you some personal experience in this. I've been someone who found it really, really hard to think of myself also in relationships first. Not just with romantic partners, but also with my children, with colleagues, with jobs, things like that. And it's really something that I had to learn. For me, the most important decision was in taking care of myself is also to understand that I had to let others be as they are. Because most friction that you can have with others is when you expect others to behave differently so that my life becomes easier. Because when you are relating to someone else and they're asking things from you, or they're giving you a hard time, or they want to fight with you, or they just want you to do something that you don't have time for, you don't like to do, then there is a friction. And it's so easy then to start to blame the other, to say, well, you have to be different. And when you are different, I will feel better. But the problem is they will reciprocate if they're not already doing the same expectation to you. You have to be different so that they can feel better. And in many relationships, this is the recipe for a lot of fighting, a lot of struggle, a lot of power plays, a lot of sadness and hurt. So at a certain moment, I start to understand that it is really important for me to be self-sufficient in how I feel, how I can make myself feel, how I can take care of myself, how I can be self-gentle. The paradox of that is that sometimes it feels that you're really alone, that you're the only one taking care of you. And then the question arises, but isn't this exactly why we are in relationships? To support each other, to love each other, to help each other. Where is that boundary then between me taking care of how I feel, me being responsible for my own happiness, while relating to another and wanting to be happy with them? So the first key for me was that self-sufficiently and letting the others be as they are and just love them like that. And truthfully, with some people, that's harder than with others. You know, some people are just so easy to love and some others are harder to love. But this is practice. And the beauty of it is it's not so much about turning the other cheek to the other, but just understanding that, well, there will always be people who ruffle our feathers, make us upset. But when you learn that you don't have to agree, you can agree to disagree. At least I can agree to disagree. The other one doesn't even have to be on the same page like me. then something changes. When you don't want the other to always acknowledge you, tell you that you are right, agree with you, even love you, then you empower yourself.